During each session of range of motion, you'll progress through the range of motion session flow. This is a series of steps that we've designed to maximize the benefit you're able to get out of every training session that you do, while of course at the same time keeping your musculo-skeletal system healthy. Our session flow poster will guide you through this process. So you'll begin by grabbing your session flow card, and you'll notice that each column has a different letter at the top. Each letter is going to represent a different movement or position that we do here at range of motion. For example, column B is the setup position, column F is pushing out, and column I is some sort of pull up or hang. Now, you'll need to circle each letter involved in your session. And for a lot of the sessions in your ROM programming, it will actually tell you which letters to circle. For some of the others, or if you're not sure, of course you can speak with your personal coach or one of our staff. So now that we've circled the letters, we know which columns we'll be working in, and we can make sure that what we're doing is specific to the session for that day. As we're getting into the actual session flow, it's worth mentioning our movement library. This is available online, but it's also available on the chart at range of motion. This chart contains all the exercises and drills in our session flow with all the images, a written description, information on what fault that drill fixes, and a QR code that takes you to a video of that drill. Now, to use this QR code, you simply open the normal camera app on your phone. You can just point it at the square code and tap the pop-up that appears on your screen, and the demo video will load right up. The first step in our range of motion session flow is move, where we prepare your body, your muscles and your joints for the ranges of movement they're going to be performing for that day. Now, you'll choose a minimum of 2 of the dynamic movement drills from each column in your session. From there, we move on to step 2, pre-mobilize, which helps to reduce any tightness that may prevent you from moving well. Now, there could be certain faults that you often see in your movements that are caused by you being too tight. Now, if this is the case, you can find the fault in each column and do as many or as few of the release drills and the stretch drills as you need. If you're not normally limited by tightness and are instead limited by some sort of stability or your ability to control movement, you should move straight on to step 3, which is activate. Once again, there may be certain faults that you often see in your movements that are caused by you being too loose or too underactive through your muscles. If this is the case, find each fault in each column and do as many or as few of the activate and stabilize drills as you need. Your body is now prepared for that day's movements. So we can move on to step 4, which is build. This is where you start completing the actual exercises you'll be doing for that session, like your front squats or your push-ups. For weighted movements, you can start with a very light weight and gradually build up until you're at the weight that you'll be doing for that session. For any of the bodyweight movements that you might be doing, you should just do enough reps to feel like you're ready to start. In step 5, you plan your goals and intent for the session. You can work out your strategy and identify the quality criteria for that session. A series of boxes that you have to check to ensure good quality, safe, efficient and effective movement. For optimal movement patterns, you should only be counting the reps that meet these quality criteria. Following this, you'll complete your training session, which of course will come from your unique and individualized ROM programming. Immediately after finishing your training, your recovery will start. The harder the session, the more important it is that you get this in right away. So step 7 is recover. This is super simple because you just spend a couple of minutes repeating some of the dynamic movements that we did in step 1, move. If you're doing a session with your personal coach, this is also a great time to do step 8, which is your debrief, where you talk about any key takeaways from that session. During your session, your personal coach will have made some additions to your session flow card. They'll have assessed your movement as you were training and identified one of the major faults that they saw in each of the columns. For each fault, they will either put a dot on the letter S on your card or on the letter M. If they put a dot on the letter S, it means that this fault was caused by some sort of lack of stability. If the dot is on the M, it was caused by a lack of mobility. So this brings us to step 9, stabilize. For every dot over an S, you'll complete a minimum of one of the activate and stabilize drills for that fault. Then in step 10, post-mobilize, for every dot over the letter M, you'll complete a minimum of one of the stretch drills, plus a minimum of one of the release drills. If you follow the range of motion session flow, you'll be able to maximize your musculo-skeletal health and your physical performance, and ensure you're looking after your body.